Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. I hope you guys are having a great time. To anyone new here, a warm welcome. Thank you so much for checking out the channel. All I ask is after watching and or listening to the video, if you find you enjoyed it or you learned something, do me a favor, smash that like button and consider subscribing. Now, without further ado, let's jump into the weeds. The verdict is in. Jenn Soto is lying. Well, at least that's what most of the behavioral analysts on YouTube are saying. Allegedly, because Jenn Soto hasn't been charged with any crime, at least not yet. The consensus among these experts is that Jenn didn't behave like a mother whose 13-year-old child had just gone missing. Here's the problem for Jenn. The police have video footage showing her so-called partner, Stephan Sterns, dumping 13-year-old Madeline Soto's laptop and backpack at 7:35 a.m. on the day she disappeared. In one interview, Jenn Soto said she saw Madeline getting dressed for school that morning at 8 a.m. I think it's safe to assume that Maddie was already deceased when Stefan Sterns was dumping her laptop and backpack. She no longer needed them. Thus, Jenn could not have seen Maddie dressing herself. So, did Jenn see someone else dressing Maddie? Maybe Stephan Sterns. And maybe it was post-mortem. You can't dump a body that doesn't have clothes on when you're trying to prove that you took her to school and dropped her off, and then whatever bad happened to her occurred after you drove away. In my mind, Sterns realized that the backpack and the laptop had to be out of the house before anyone dialed 911 to report Maddie missing. His fake story was that he drove her to school and dropped her off at 8:40 a.m. Logic dictates that a child going to school is going to take their backpack and their laptop. This was a school-issued laptop. But why did Sterns dump them so close to the house where Maddie lived? Right in the same complex, in a dumpster, like right there. I have to think he did this because he was in a hurry, because that dumpster was not a well thought out choice. If you're trying to say you dropped the child off near school at 8:40 a.m., you don't want to be caught on a security camera dumping her stuff at 7:35 a.m. I'm wondering why he didn't take them along with Maddie to the wooded area 22 miles away where he dumped her body. It would have made more sense for those items to be found with Maddie or to be dumped along the route. So I think Sterns was maybe panicking when he discarded those items so close to Maddie's home. Jenn Soto also says in an interview, quote, "We had dropped her off close to the school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way." End quote. Jenn jumped first to the pronoun we. She didn't say Stefan. She didn't go straight to my partner. Only later in the same interview does she change it to, quote, "I wasn't the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner." Remember, when you tell the truth, the story never changes, and it's not hard to remember, and it should be on the tip of your tongue. With Jenn saying we so many times, it makes me wonder if she could have been in the car with Stephan Sterns and a deceased Madeline when the child was driven to the dump site. I know the police didn't mention seeing Jenn in the vehicle, but could she have been hiding in the car? Two people will have an easier time lugging a dead weight body to a wooded area for dumping. This is just me speculating. In Stefan Sterns' first arrest affidavit, the police wrote that they believe Madeline died in the early morning hours at her own house. Even if Jenn Soto was sleeping, wouldn't there have been some loud noises or the sound of thumping, the sound of dragging a body? Getting from the second floor to the first floor would have made some noise. Also, when a person dies, their muscles loosen immediately, and this means any strain on one's bowel or bladder releases them. Thus, most people, I hate to say it, poop and pee when they die. Could this be why murderers often wrap the body in a blanket or in a rug? It can be used both to hide the body, but also to get rid of all the mess. During one of her interviews, Jenn Soto is seen shaking up and down, almost like the tapping of a foot, except her whole body is tapping. The guys at the behavioral panel say this movement, along with Jenn's compressed lips, spells high stress levels. Although she's stressed, Jenn isn't emotional. She's not crying. She isn't eager to share Madeline's name, her age, what she was wearing when she was last seen. The only emotion that she shows is when she smiles at the sound of what's believed to be a parrot in the background. After the strange noise ends, Jenn visibly resets herself and puts back on her dour expression. If there were like a cartoon bubble above her head, it would show her saying to herself, "Oh God, that parrot is awkward." And then, "Oh no, I need to get back to my serious-looking self." In that same interview, Jenn seems to be saying that she doesn't think Maddie can be found, that she just doesn't believe the search efforts or any of the tips that are called in will help. She's not encouraging people to help search for her daughter. It's almost like she's saying, don't bother. Jenn also lets it be known that Maddie supposedly left her phone at home that morning. Jenn blames this on Maddie's ADHD. Jenn says, Maddie is forgetful. First, this feels like victim blaming. Second, if the cops are right, then Maddie left her phone at home because she was deceased. And Sterns, and maybe Jenn too, didn't want Madeline to be traceable through her phone. Driving 22 miles away and dumping Madeline in a grove of trees tells me that Sterns didn't want her body found, at least not anytime soon. And perhaps he was hoping that the body would degrade enough, decompose enough, so as not to reveal how exactly she died. And I do believe that Jenn isn't really all that upset about things, because she was smiling 1 second and then emotionless the next. Where are the tears? Where's the pleading for help? Jenn cries the same tears as Stephan Sterns. They're dry tears. There's no tear coming out of the eye. Now, Jenn says she realized at around 4:30 p.m. that Madeline hadn't been to school that day. In one of her interviews, she says that she reported this to the police at 4:45 p.m. But in Sterns' first arrest affidavit, it says that the mother reported her daughter missing at 8 p.m. Let me ask you, if your just turned 13-year-old daughter, who never acted erratically, suddenly didn't show up after school and didn't show up for school, aren't you going to dial 911 right away? Especially if your partner says he dropped her off near her school at 8:40 a.m. You know right away at 4:30 then that she's been missing since about 9 a.m. Are you really going to wait until 8 p.m. to dial 911? Yes, I know there are stories about how you can't report someone missing for at least 24 hours, but I do believe it's different with a child. And why does Jenn lie in that interview and say that she dialed 911 at 4:45 p.m. when it wasn't until 8 p.m. according to the affidavit? Is she lying because she knows that people are going to judge her for waiting so long? Is she trying to look like a very caring parent who dialed right away? In one of the interviews, Jenn also said, "We're all a wreck. My entire family is a mess." Why didn't she just say the family's a mess? Or my family is a mess? To me, I think she's trying to make herself seem more upset than she appears. Maybe she believes that her worry will look more intense if she says that her entire family is upset. She also says, we're so worried. Why doesn't she just say, I'm so worried? The reporter is speaking only to her, not to her entire family. She then says that she doesn't think Maddie knows her own address and that she might not be able to find her way home. Now, I'm telling you, I could walk home at age 5. Granted, the school was like 5 minutes away from home. Don't you think a 13-year-old is going to know how to get home from school? And if Maddie didn't know her own address or how to get home, bad on her mother for not teaching her her address. Now, in this one interview, I noticed that Stephan Sterns appears to be way more emotional than Jenn. To me, he's trying to pretend that he really is a parent. And he seems to need more comfort from Jenn than she needs from him, even though she's the biological mother. To me, this spells staging. He is staging an act, and he's requiring Jenn to play her role. She's supposed to be the stronger one, and he's the one who's more upset. And I think this is deliberate, because let's say he is the one who caused Maddie to die. I think he might have said to Jenn, I need to look like I'm really upset. You need to say that I'm her stepfather, and I need to look like a worried parent. Stefan wipes dry eyes repeatedly, trying to make it look like he's sobbing. There are no tears. I don't see any tears. He also says that when he dropped Madeline off, he told her he loved her, and she replied, thanks, I love you too. Who says thanks to such a comment? Does that seem fake to you? Like, I don't think I'd ever say to my parents after they tell me they love me as they drop me off, thanks, I love you too. I would say I love you too, but I definitely wouldn't say thanks. He also told the reporter that the day started off like any other day. Does this mean that he essayed Maddie that morning like he did perhaps every morning, allegedly? He also said that, quote, it's a living nightmare. We knew it wasn't going to come to an end, end quote. What the hell does that mean? Does he know that whatever happened to Maddie is going to lead to an endless nightmare for both him and Jenn Soto? Like maybe a lifetime in prison or being sentenced to death? Those are very weird words to say. They aren't full of hope for Madeline. It's as if he and Jenn are admitting defeat in the search for Madeline, but maybe what he really means is it's a defeat for them because they're likely about to get busted. I mean, I think he's thinking in the back of his head, oh my God, let them please not find the laptop and the backpack in that dumpster. Also, don't let them find the body. And oh my God, I got a flat tire on the way there and somebody might have seen me. I don't believe that flat tire was a staged event. If you dump a body, you want to drive away from that body as fast as you can. Until the next time on Bed Crime Stories.
Is if I can have your first, your last name and spell it.
Okay. Jennifer Soto, JENNIFERSOTO.
Mother.
Mother.
Jennifer, tell me how you feeling right now.
I feel like I can't breathe. All I keep thinking about is, where is she? Is she safe? Is she okay? But we're all a wreck. My entire family is a mess. We're just so worried.
When did you first realize, or when did you file a missing report?
We filed a missing report. We called the police at like 4:45 yesterday, 4:45 p.m. But she actually went missing early that morning, around between 8:45 and 9 o'clock in the morning. She went missing. We had dropped her off close to the school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. Sorry. That should be it. Sorry about that. We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to share.
You share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. I know you had conversations with detectives. Not sure what that conversation is, but whichever you feel comfortable sharing, that we'll put the awareness out there.
Yeah, she was spotted walking by the church, by the middle school, on the cameras, they saw her hang out in the parking lot for a little bit and then get up and leave. They didn't see a vehicle or anything else. They just saw her walk away around 9 a.m. heading towards the school, but she never made it.
What has the school said? Have you been in contact with the school?
Yes, that they're doing everything they can. They've given me all their resources. The principal's called me. They've looked at their cameras. I don't think they've caught anything on the cameras is too far away from the sidewalk. Everything is too grainy, so they can't see specific faces. But they've looked. I'm just waiting to hear anything else from them.
Is this normal behavior?
Not at all.
To just not show up or call or text or anything?
Not at all, no. She, from time to time, she will leave her cell phone at home accidentally, and that's actually what happened yesterday. She left her phone at home. She went to school. But that happens from time to time. She's got ADHD, her memory. She's very forgetful. So yeah, there's no way to track her right now because the detectives don't have her phone. But this isn't normal behavior now.
What was the last thing, I guess, the conversation that you two had, you and your daughter?
We spoke about her birthday party. She had a birthday party on Sunday. She had a great time. I couldn't make it because I was working. But she had an amazing time. She was so happy with all her gifts. I told her good night, and yeah, that was it. I was the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. But yeah.
13?
She's 13 years old, yes.
13, Madeline?
Madeline.
What are you thinking right now?
In my heart, I feel like somebody took her. This isn't like her to just pick up and run away, or just not go to school. I don't know what to think. The friends' parents, you've contacted and went through every single person? Everyone that we know that she knows, we've contacted them all, reached out to them. The parents have gone out to search and look for her as well. And we haven't come up with anything yet.
I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook, Hunters Creek, rants and raves and what have you. Did people say that they were going to conduct some type of search party or anything?
A lot of people have asked me to volunteer, if there is one, if they can do one. I have people passing out flyers, going to every store in that vicinity, a gas station, church. I think people were being stopped in the street this morning in front of the school to see if they've seen anything, if they've heard anything. My family they're going all out right now. Yeah.
I know as a mother, a lot is going on in your brain.
So much.
To bring her back home. What have the law enforcement told you that you are able to share?
I mean, that they're doing the best they can. They've had detectives come out, interview us. They took a piece of her clothing for the canine dog to see if they can sniff her out. I'm not sure when that's being done.
Do you have any inkling where she possibly could be? If you would say, okay, last time I went to work and came back, she was at James' house or Sabrina's house, and maybe I forgot to check that house, or she played at this park one weekend, maybe she went back there or something like that.
We've looked everywhere we could have thought, and anywhere she would have been. She would have known to wait for me at the school. But we did check if she could have walked My mom's office is close to the school. We checked there. We checked the walking paths that she could have taken. We've checked all of her friend's house. I think we've checked everywhere I could think of, honestly.
What do you think, oh gosh, I just had it tip of my tongue. What was she wearing?
She was last seen wearing a green hoodie, black shorts, white Crocs, a black Jan Sport backpack with gray hibiscus flowers on it. That's about it.
And you said this is not like her
Not at all.
to run away, an argument, anything like that to provoke her?
She's never done anything like this, no. And we haven't had any arguments recently to have this outcome.
What school?
Hunters Creek Middle School.
Tom, any questions?
No.
Is there anything that you think our viewers would need to know about the way you're feeling, the way the family's feeling, Madeline?
We are desperate for any answers, anything that you could do to help. I'm here for it. Just please, if you see my daughter, just please bring her home. I just hope you're okay, Maddie. I hope you're safe. I hope you're not hurt. I just hope she's okay.
When did you notice that she was missing? Because this was at the beginning of the morning.
She got dropped off in the morning. We did not notice until after school pickup at 4 o'clock when I went to go pick her up and she wasn't at school.
So we're going in 24 hours now.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing. No word. No text message. No messages anywhere from her. I've looked at all her social medias. I've looked at all her games she could have played with. Any app. No weird conversations. Nothing strange. Everything was conversations with just normal friends or us.
She knows how to get home by herself, as if, like, let's just say, to take a bus or an Uber or something like that. She would know how to get home alone, correct?
I'm not sure. I don't know if she would know how to get home. Maybe, I mean, if someone got in the car with her and if she pointed the way, what roads, she probably could figure out how to get, but like, does she know her full address? I don't think she does.
Which would give me it just puts in my brain that she always comes home with someone.
She always comes home with me.
There's no need for her to really learn. Okay. And you said no, Tom? I think that was everything. All right, the first question is if I can get your first and last name and spell them both out for me.
Stephan Sterns, Stephan Sterns.
All right, so Stephan, you seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said thanks, love you too. That was it.
And so where do you think she could possibly be? I mean, this isn't, as I was told, this isn't normal behavior.
This is not normal behavior. She's not the type that would just run off. We don't know where she can be. And we're scared. We just want her home.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
It's hard not to.
Why?
I dropped her off early. I could have waited longer. She looked okay. She was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day, so I went on with my day. It's hard not to blame myself.
What has the conversation been with Jenn since?
She's been a lot stronger than me. She's been holding it together really well. But it just keeps coming in waves. Just the reality keeps hitting. And we don't know where she is. We don't know if she's safe. We're just scared. We just want her home.
Have you, like, literally put boots on the ground, went out?
Yeah, I even went out with the cops where I had dropped her off. And we looked all up and down the road, all along the communities, and there was nothing helpful. None of the cameras were pointing the street. Nothing, which in 2024 was surprising. The church across the street had some cameras, and they mentioned seeing her waiting around in the parking lot for a while before moving on, and that was it. But it was grainy. It was grainy footage, and not much else.
Does it seem like she walked west, east?
They said in the direction of the school. I'm not sure what that is.
What was the language? Not language verbally, body language. When you dropped her off, did she seem happy? Was she like, I'm going to meet my friends?
Happy. She got happy. Just turned 13. She had her 13th birthday party. She was happy that we were all together here, and she was just very happy. She was a happy kid. She's very sweet. She's a very sweet girl. She brings a lot of joy to us, and we just not knowing.
So the unknown is killing you.
Yeah, it's like our whole world is upside down. And not feeling her presence here is... Sorry. It's hard.
Oh no, you're fine. No need to apologize. What do you want our viewers to know when they see this?
She's a sweetheart. She's a very sweet, kind girl. Just please be nice to her. Bring her home if you find her. Tell her that we love her. Wherever she is, I hope she's okay.
I mean, if someone were to come in contact with her and you gave me her diagnoses, would it be easy to approach her without any like agitation or anything?
Yeah. She's a good kid. She's a good kid.
If you can sum up in one complete sentence, waking up, getting ready to drop her off at school, dropping her off at school, to now speaking to me after talking to the police about her being missing for over 24 hours right now. In one complete sentence, what would that be?
A living nightmare. It's a living nightmare. Day started off like any other. And I just want to wake up and just get hit with waves of the reality. Just it's setting in. As soon as it got dark last night, we started falling apart because we knew it wasn't going to come to an end. And now we're going on 24 hours and still nothing. Just conflicting reports here and there. People say they see this or that. None of it's conclusive and none of it's helpful. We just want our baby girl back.
Tom, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Thank you.
Just 'cause